Hello and welcome to Mugello for the Ferrari Challenge as we reach the conclusion of what has been a fantastic season of Ferrari Challenge racing. We're here with the TropheoPirelli cars at the world final event, the Finale Mondiale here in the Italian countryside, where weather conditions today somewhat different to yesterday. Qualifying sessions this morning, well, have been in damp conditions. And in the TropheoPirelli qualifying that set the grid for the race that we are about to see, it was a story of two halves, really, in terms of when the best times were produced early on in the session and then very, very late in the session as well. Talking to most of the front-running drivers before coming out onto track, and the track conditions are damp, but it is not raining anymore, and many of them were going for slick tyres in the hope that there will be no rain showers during the course of the race as we see that dark cloud loom overhead. Well, many think it's a gamble worth taking, and the next 30 minutes or so will tell us if that is the case. So the grid is set, and we have here the Ferrari Challenge, thank you, the Ferrari Challenge TropheoPirelli cars from the European Series, which has been our focus all season long. But joining in the action are the drivers from the Asia Pacific Series as well, in both the Copa category and the TropheoPirelli category of the Asia Pacific Series. Now, just coming into grid, P1 is Stefano Guy, who, conversation with him not 20 minutes ago, was unsure whether he was going to take up his grid position for this race. Reason being, he's not competed in the entire championship this year. He has been off on European Le Mans Series duty, and as he's not in the hunt for the championship, he is most definitely in the hunt for the world final race, which comes tomorrow, and felt that he wouldn't be prepared to get in the mix today and compromise his performance tomorrow. But he's obviously made the decision to join us on the grid, because there he is, the Rosso Corsa driver. Now that car has had to be rebuilt, and they were working on that until the early hours of this morning, following a collision with Eric Chung yesterday, where Stefano Guy ran right into the back of him. That was Max Blancardi we were looking at. Max Blancardi runs in the International Cup. And there is Sam Smith from Great Britain, who has qualified P8, which is a very creditable qualifying from Sam Smith. Has told us that he is considering a full-time package in the European Challenge next year. He's been racing Ferraris in the UK Series. And, well, there we are, packed grid of cars. The effectively the final race in the European rounds of the Ferrari Challenge about to get underway, and TropheoPirelli champion about to be crowned in around about 35 minutes time. There is Dario Carzo, who's provided us with plenty of on-track thrills and spills during the course of the season, and I think certainly for the years that I've been involved in the Ferrari Challenge, it's the best season we've seen from Dario Carzo. Dario is on second row of the grid, P3. Well, yesterday's race was really rather dramatic. Here are the highlights. So as the cars got away then, the green lights came on. Alex Martin took a dive wide to the outside to try and get the better of Giacomo Strata. That move wasn't going to work. Daniel Mancinelli put himself exactly where he needed to be in the lead. Sergei Chuganov, suffering success penalty from earlier success, has got a lot of work to do. As we see Max Blancardi there battling with Alessandro Vezzoni. One of the early casualties was Paul van Leeuwenhout. As we see him take a spin, Stefano Guy's father looks on expectantly as Max Blancardi continues this battle with Alessandro Vezzoni. And there, Samantha, his partner, looks on and guides via the radio. We're on board with Philippe Baron, who was struggling in P2, having to defend very, very hard as Dario Carzo took a very sideways movement across the gravel, but managed to hold it all together, which is more than can be said for Yanbin Xing. This, yet another of the dramatic moments in the Ferrari Challenge race from TropheoPirelli yesterday. Sergei Chukhanov then tucked in behind Daniel D'Amato and struggled all race long to find a way past him. And then this, Stefano Guy running into the back of the slowing Eric Chung car. And you can see just how the team thought about that. Checker flag came down then, and it was the car to the left, the green car of Daniel Mancinelli, that took the win. So there, having seen that number 99 car in a state of disrepair at the end of that race yesterday, you can see just how hard the Rosso Corsa team have worked to get that car back out on the grid. And Stefano Guy set an absolutely blistering pole sitting time of 2:10.274, a full 2 seconds ahead of Sergei Chukhanov alongside him. Pazin Lathoris, who was on the podium yesterday for Asia Pacific. Now, he's back there on row 9. The reason for that is because the cars are gridded in groups. So we have the European cars at the front pack of the grid, then it is the Asian Pacific TropheoPirelli drivers, then the Copa Shell drivers, all in packs. There's Shipto Biantoro. You don't know how long I've been practicing that name, trust me.
I'm on TV, eh?
You are on TV. Enjoy it. Great to see David enjoying his moment of fame. Here's the grid in full then. Stefano Guy from pole alongside Sergei Chukhanov, who currently leads the points by just 5. Dario Carzo is P3 on the grid. Then it's Daniel Mancinelli, P4. Mancinelli is the next in the points table. Then it's Alex Martin. Great quali from him. Robert Pergel alongside Lorenzo Casse, then Sam Smith. P7 and 8 there on row 4 of the grid. The graphics keep rolling. And it's Philip Barron, the Octane 126 driver, P9. Then it's Ezequiel Perez Companc, P10. Giacomo Strata and Renato D'Amato takes over driving duties from his son Daniel from yesterday. Then Sergei Zlobin. He is P13. Alessandro Vezzoni, P14. Then Rafael Giannoni and Herney there, P15 and 16. Pazin Lathoris is P17. Max Blancardi, the International Cup driver, P18. Former TropheoPirelli champion, of course, in the European Series. Steve Wyatt is P19. Then Shipto Biantoro next on the grid with Chong van Leeuwenhout. We saw having a spinning moment yesterday in the highlights a moment ago. Then it's Negro and Eric Chung, who was on the receiving end of a nerf from Stefano Guy at the closing stages of the race. Then it's Zhu, Gregory Teo, then Hannah and Xing, row 14, and bringing up the rear is Hugh for CTF China. There, the look of concentration on Stefano Guy's face. He, of course, in this race, not in the championship as such. Let's get the race started. So as the graphics indicate, we're about to get the race underway, and that is the pole-sitting driver, Stefano Guy, who, as I mentioned just before the race start graphics, is not really in the hunt for the championship, but could so affect the outcome of this race and therefore the championship. We will see. Safety car from Hublot then out on the formation lap. The cars will join shortly thereafter. Interestingly, the safety car has done a couple of laps before the cars were even allowed out of the pit lane, just to see what the conditions are like. But looking from our comms booth, there is no question about it that slicks is the only way to go, assuming the weather stays the same as it is. So great banners across the grandstand here, including a whole busload of Ukraine fans have been bussed in, and I can see from the commentary booth, Team Ukraine, Chuka, go, go, go. Chukhanov, of course, could wrap up this TropheoPirelli Championship in this race, the final race. But Daniel Mancinelli will be doing everything he can to make sure that his name is recorded as TropheoPirelli champion for 2013 as well. And both those title contenders are on the first two rows of the grid. There is Mancinelli in the green car. Rupert Martin there. Here comes Robert Pergel. We go on board with our leader in the points by 5 points, Sergei Chuganov from Team Ukraine. He'll have a lot of support here in this race. And he was quite calm when I spoke to him just no more than 25 minutes ago. We look back from Renato D'Amato as the cars make their way around this Mugello circuit, which will form part of the calendar for 2014. The calendar was officially announced to the teams and to the media last night. And an absolutely blistering calendar it is as well. Monza, Mugello, Brno in the Czech Republic, Portimao in Portugal, Silverstone in the UK, Istanbul, and the World Finals next year, Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. All the information, of course, corsaclienti.ferrari.com. That's the website where you will find all the information on this fantastic Ferrari challenge. The 458, the one make model that is used in this. And what an awesome car it is. What an awesome track this is. I have experience of both, as does my exec producer Nico alongside me, as we were taken for a hot lap late yesterday afternoon in a Ferrari 458. And wow, that was truly breathtaking. As is the support for this man, Sergei Chuganov from Team Ukraine. You saw just one of the banners there. Big support for this man. Charming young gentleman that he is. The marshal there asks everyone to grid up. The safety car will peel off, and then it will be down to the race steward to get the final race in the Ferrari Challenge in the TropheoPirelli category underway. It's not the last race of the race action this weekend, though. The World Finals to come tomorrow. We're on board with the safety car then. As you can see, the cars behind beginning to grid up. Stefano Guy, pole position, alongside, well, the championship contender, Sergei Chuganov. Dario Carzo's P3 on the grid. Alongside Dario Carzo is Chuganov's biggest competitor, Daniel Mancinelli, biggest competitor for the points championship. But there is still a race to be won, and every driver wants to win it. The lights are red, up there in the screen, top left of your screen right now. As they cross the start-finish line, the lights go green. We are away and racing. The final round in the TropheoPirelli Championship. Mancinelli tucks in. He's going to try and take Carzo on the inside. And he does so. Philippe Barron also on a charge. Lorenzo Cassé is charging through and is through into P3. Stefano Guy leads. Alex Martin also making his way up the order too. Daniel Mancinelli being hung out to dry a little bit there. So it is Guy that's leading. There is Stefano Guy. Sergei Chuganov will try and find a way past him. Now, the moment where Daniel Mancinelli is, Chuganov has got to think about where to go. Dario Carzo has got problems. Also with problems is Eric Chung, who had problems yesterday. One of those problems was the fact that Stefano Guy was in the back of his car. And Stefano Guy is now leading this race. Lorenzo Cassé now going backwards. And here is, that's where Lorenzo Cassé then went off onto the grass and then onto the gravel. Robert Pergel, Giacomo Strata, and Alex Martin up to P3 in the black and silver Ellie Dextra car. Daniel Mancinelli further down the order than he would like to be in P5. Stefano Guy tiptoeing round here. Philippe Barron gets past Alex Martin. Mancinelli really in the mix of it there, but not going forward the way he would like to. Well, Chukhanov matching everything that Stefano Guy has got. Now, Stefano said he didn't want to get involved in the championship hunt. Chukhanov is absolutely motoring. Mentioned how Stefano Guy was 2 seconds quicker in qualifying. Well, at the moment, the pace is being matched. As Robert Purgel gets past Giacomo Strata. So there is Sergei Chukhanov in the wheel tracks of Stefano Guy. Stefano Guy leading this race. Chukhanov desperately trying to put that Stefano Guy car between himself and the rest of the pack as a bit of a cushion, as Paul van Loonhout again is off the track. As in race 1 yesterday, Paul has gone. That's how he did it, carrying too much speed, gets very, very sideways into the gravel and deep into the gravel. Don't think he's going to be recovering from that. And now Chukhanov goes for a charge, and this is going to let Barron through. Barron isn't in the hunt for P1 in the championship, but he's definitely in the hunt for the race win. We're on board now with Sergei Chukhanov. The Rosso Corsa car ahead is that of Stefano Guy leading the race, and Chukhanov is going to get right alongside him here. Just see Daniel Mancinelli in there as well. Philip Barron now gets past Chukhanov. Well, that was probably a wise move by Chukhanov. No point fighting with Philip Barron, actually, but Mancinelli is on a charge as well. Alex Martin sits between Sergei Chukhanov and Daniel Mancinelli. The blue and the yellow car of Sergei Chukhanov and the green and red car of Daniel Mancinelli are the two that could take that TropheoPirelli championship. So all these drivers just trying to find the grip. They're out there on mostly slick shod tyres from what we could tell from our tour of the paddock just ahead of the race. Big collision there for Sergei Zlobin. You can see the damage to that car, Max Blancardi going through, and Zlobin then chucking a load of coolant all over the track. So now Philip Barron and Stefano Guy. Well, they spent most of yesterday battling until Stefano Guy ended up in the back of Eric Chung's car, and that battle resumes today. Robert Purgel, good showing from Robert Purgel up into P6. So this battle between Stefano Guy and Philip Barron for the lead of this race. And Barron again, he has got, just like Chukhanov did, got right alongside Stefano Guy now down this downhill section into the left-hander. The Rosso Corsa team, including Stefano Guy's father, watches on as he leads this race. Chukhanov has turned the wick up again as well. We are barely 5 minutes into this race, and so much going on. Just looked like at the back of the screen there that Max Blancardi was having a go at Giacomo Strata. Indeed so, and next up for him will be Robert Purgel, the man with whom he battled for so many years in the TropheoPirelli Championship. Carso, meanwhile, has gone from 3rd down to 14th as Barron makes his move. He's on the grass. How did he manage to hold that together? But in holding it together, he has pushed Stefano Guy out wide, and now Chukhanov takes up the lead. Alex Martin also looking to try and get past Philip Barron. It's a long way around the outside there as they head up towards the S's then, off this turn number 12. Here the S's. And a drive-through penalty is being awarded to Alessandro Vezzoni, who's down there in P13 for jumping the start. And this a replay of Barron and Guy. So Barron out on the grass. He did manage to hold it, but when he got back all four wheels onto the tarmac, pushed Stefano out a little bit. He himself went out as well. That all played into the hands of Sergei Chukhanov, who played that waiting game behind the two, battling in front. And now Philip Barron wants that P1 back and gets it. So these drivers really pushing hard. Philip Barron had announced that he was absolutely going to drive for the World Championship, the World Final race, which comes up tomorrow, because he knew the chance of the Points Championship were over for him. And that a replay of how he got past Sergei Chukhanov. Chukhanov, of course, the win in this race is not absolutely crucial. What he just needs to make sure he does is keep Daniel Mancinelli behind him. That would be enough. In comes Lorenzo Cassay then. That looks like his race is done and dusted. So Lorenzo Cassay is out of the car. The Motor Piacenza driver walks away. Here then is Daniel Mancinelli, who's got Max Blancardi behind him for company now. The multi-winning Max Blancardi, who's racing in the International Cup. Oh, bit of a brake test there, was it, from Stefano Guy? But that has done enough to allow Blancardi through. So him not being held up by Mancinelli anymore, and Mancinelli really is, unfortunately, going backwards here. Blancardi now flashes his lights furiously at Stefano Guy. This is Stefano Guy's P4, Blancardi therefore P5. Here, from the helmet camera of Philip Barron. Really chucking so much into that steering wheel, Philip Barron. And Philip Barron's last lap, a 2:01.905, the fastest lap. As Blancardi gets past Stefano Guy, so too does Mancinelli. So the order then is Barron, Chukhanov, and the UK's Alex Martin, P3. Max Blancardi up to P4 as Stefano Guy is spun around. Gets the car lit up on the grass. Well, wonder if Stefano is thinking to himself now, I wish I hadn't got myself into this race. He was umming and ahhing before the start of the race whether to even take up his pole position on the grid. And it was just a mistake there by Stefano. Not touched by anyone at all. Raphael Giannoni is in. Now it looks like that was a wet tyre being taken away, so whether Raphael started the race on wets, unlike most of the front runners, and has now opted for slicks. And meantime, there is Daniel Mancinelli and Max Blancardi, the battle for fourth position, which at the moment Blancardi has. Philip Barron some 1.7 seconds up the road now from Sergei Chukhanov. 3.3 is the margin that Barron has over Alex Martin in P3. There is Alex Martin in the LE Dextra chrome and black livery. Robert Purgel there, all black, the Scuderia Praha driver. And then Sam Smith from the UK in car number 92 in P8. So Barron leads over Chukhanov with some 2.5 seconds margin. And we're on board with him right now. He sets the fastest lap now, a 2-minute lap, 2.00.866 from Philip Barron. Obviously the track is coming to him. Philip absolutely nailing this Octane 126 car around the 5.2 kilometre Mugello circuit. Sam Smith here under a bit of pressure now from the multi-experienced Robert Purgel, one of the longest serving Ferrari Challenge drivers is Robert Purgel in the all-black number 11 car. A little bit of a touch between them there. We see him replay, didn't see that live. So that provides the answer to the question why Purgel and Smith are so close together. And now Max Blancardi sets the fastest lap. Who is going to be the first to be sub 2 minutes? Wouldn't better get in against it being Philip Barron, as Blancardi now gets past Alex Martin to take up P3. said in an interview yesterday, Max Blancardi, that the world final was what he was after. Hypermotion shot for you there. And there is Dario Carzo, who's having a torrid time of it today. Down there in P11 with Renato D'Amato. Looks like he's about to get past him. So Dario Carzo, who, as I said at the beginning of the program, has given us so much entertainment. Often for the right reasons, sometimes for the wrong reasons during the course of this season. Well, he's having a mare of a race today. Baron lead now, 2.1 seconds over Sergei Chukhanov, but crucially for the championship, Chukhanov is P2, Daniel Mancinelli is P5. There is Mancinelli on the back of Alex Martin, currently P4. Two young talents out there in the TropheoPirelli category of the Ferrari Challenge. Reminder to you that we also have the Asia Pacific drivers on track also as part of this world finale Mondiali weekend. So Mancinelli just took a look at the inside then of Alex Martin, wasn't able to do anything. Just look at the gravel that's been chucked back out onto the circuit there from a returning car. Some of those backmarking cars causing traffic problems already for our leading pack. Another hypermotion shot there of Daniel Mancinelli and Alex Martin together. And this is back with them live. And in that pack now is Sam Smith also. So Sam Smith, who's been ultra successful in the UK racing Ferraris, and said to me in conversation yesterday, is hoping to make a full season of the European Ferrari Challenge next year. Be a very welcome addition. Another UK driver joining the ranks of this phenomenally successful series from Ferrari. Mancinelli again, as you can see the front of Alex Martin's car dip under heavy braking there. And Mancinelli is right with him, so too Sam Smith. There is Philippe Baron leading. And it is Baron that does the first sub-2 minute timer, 1:59.570. There's Max Blancardi, the International Cup driver and former TropheoPirelli champion in P3. So Philippe Baron absolutely on a mission, and you wouldn't bet against him taking that world final race tomorrow, which has been his aim. So look at the Asia Pacific classes in the TropheoPirelli. The championship leader, Pazin Lathoris, is P9, therefore overall he's going to clinch the title. And then in the Copa Shell, Chipto Biantoro leads his class in 18th. Overall, Eric Chung is 23rd, but he still holds on to a slim overall lead. Might come down to the wire in that Copa Shell class. Thanks to Nico alongside me for bringing me all the facts and figures whilst I try and focus on all the action that is happening out there on track with a race that's being led by Philippe Baron. We're watching this battle, though, at the moment, which is for P4 between Alex Martin, Daniel Mancinelli, and Sam Smith. So, two UK drivers, Italian in the mix there as well, right in the middle of that pack. And Smith takes a look at Mancinelli. There's a bit of contact. And that costs Mancinelli 2 places. Because Giacomo Strata, all of a sudden, are right alongside also. Well, Mancinelli's championship dreams and hopes are ebbing away here. We have 13 minutes left to run in this race. And Philippe Baron is leading this replay then of that moment between Mancinelli and Smith. Now, quite what that gesture was for out of the window from Sam Smith, but Again, another hypermotion shot in replay here. The crystal clear clarity of that. Absolutely amazing. There is David Cipto Biantoro then for Ferrari Indonesia, who is leading his class. Trying to keep our cameras across all the action that's going on in this combined TropheoPirelli race. We have the European TropheoPirelli drivers and also the drivers from the Copa Shell and TropheoPirelli Asia Pacific Series as well. Interestingly, we just get a note from race control that perhaps not surprisingly, Sam Smith is under investigation from the stewards, so doesn't fill me with surprise, if I'm honest. Baron leading from Chukhanov. All Chukhanov needs to do is bring the car home in the last 12 minutes, and the huge support he has from Ukraine will have buoyed him towards the TropheoPirelli Championship. So Sam Smith up behind Alex Martin now. Alex Martin in P4. Now, I'm pretty sure, if my failing memory serves me, that Alex and Sam have raced together in the UK, and not always harmoniously. So this could be quite interesting. That a replay of the earlier damage to the car of Boris Rotenberg returning to this championship. Now, Sam Smith is under investigation there. I mentioned that just a few moments ago. At the moment, he is P5 behind Alex Martin. So Blancardi, whilst we've been watching this, has managed to get past Sergei Chukhanov. So Chukhanov now relegated to third, which, as far as the championship is concerned, is wholly academic. Interestingly, just being fed the information that Sam Smith is going to get a drive-through penalty. Well, he ain't going to be taking it because the car spins. Purgle's off as well. So just as I was hearing the information in my ears that Sam Smith has got a drive-through penalty, he pirouettes across the track, makes contact with the barriers. This is going to bring the safety car out. We have 10 minutes left to run in this race. Okay, Mancinelli P7, Chukhanov P3. No point holding that 92 drive-through board up now. He ain't going to be taking that drive-through penalty. This could change the shape of this rather significantly. Depends how long the safety car is going to be out there. So the Giacomo Strata team look on. Now, here it is in replay. Smith just out onto the AstroTurf. Back end of the car, steps away from him. Piles on the opposite lock to try and control it. Big front driver's side impact. That sees panel work. Now, I don't know whether Robert Purgle actually did the same. And that in hypermotion, we're able to bring you that replay. And that quite an impact. And I think Purgle just got out onto the Astro as well and lost the back end. So the two incidents completely unrelated. So Mancinelli now, by dint of the fact that Smith is out, is up to P6. Eight and a half minutes left to run in the race. On board with the Hublot safety car. And here another one of those replays, Chukhanov and Guy. And Sam Smith is out of the car and walks away seemingly okay, which we're very pleased to see. He had a very creditable race yesterday. And there you can see the support there for Team Ukraine. And just look at Max Blancardi. Momentarily looked down from the windscreen there, and these hypermotion shots that we're able to bring you. there is Chukhanov, Baron. So now the cars theoretically could all bunch up behind the safety car. And Sergei Chukhanov, who is P3, Mancinelli P6. Well, the final dash for cash is going to be very interesting. So the pictures there from this hypermotion ability that we have to show you. Just look at that wheel under pressure there on the Stefano Guy car as he runs across the curbs. And there too, as we slow it right down to watch Mancinelli, and look at the line Blancardi took and Mancinelli didn't. There the car of Wei Zhu then, one of the Asia Pacific drivers, car number 617, and there Sam Smith. And now this is the battle that continued to rage between him and Robert Purgel, and the crash for Sam Smith, which has caused the safety car to come out. Well, Sam Smith out, so too Robert Purgel, I suspect, because Robert Purgel pirouetted, and these images absolutely fantastic to look at. And there is Sam Smith walking away. The Stratstone Ferrari driver, thankfully he appears to be totally unharmed, because it was quite an impact. So good to see that he's walked away from that okay. Here's a replay of the start then, as we take a look at the Copa Shell in the Asia Pacific series. And Eric Chung, the live points as it stands at the moment, 214, and Shipto Biantoro, 210 points. Just 4 between them. And we're getting a replay here with Philip Barron on board, wearing our helmet camera. As up to the line, Barron, renowned for his blistering starts. See Mancinelli ahead of us, who went out onto the very inside there. Barron behind Purgel. It wasn't going to be long before Barron was on his charge up the grid, up the field. So again, more hypermotion shots. Guy, Chukhanov, and the rest of the pack through the turn here. And Barron was the man on the move. So we've got just under 4.5 minutes to run, and the safety car is coming in this lap. There's Stefano Guy's father. There is Max Blancardi's partner, Samantha. So there is the safety car. There is Philip Barron. Max Blancardi perhaps will be able to sniff the chance of a top step of the podium for this race. It is going to be a real dash for the checkered flag. On board with Sergei Chukhanov, who Daniel Mancinelli is going to be a lot closer to him now. What are we going to get? Just a couple of laps in, probably. There is Mancinelli down there in P6. Barron backs them all up. Blancardi's on his tail. Will Mancinelli feel that perhaps this is the last possible chance for him to do something and wrestle that championship away from Sergei Chukhanov? Look, There are just 2 cars between the 2 championship contenders. There are just under 3 minutes of racing left as we go green once again. The TropheoPirelli Championship up for grabs, so too the race win. And Alex Martin trying to get past Sergei Chuganov here. Chuganov needs not to be spun. And now Mancinelli is on the back of Chuganov. Whatever Chuganov does, he's got to keep Mancinelli behind him. Max Blancardi is going for the race win. He's pressuring Philippe Barron. So look at this, Giacomo Strata went around the outside, and I think he just clipped the front of Sergei Chuganov. Yes, he did, we saw it there. So Strata is up to P3. There's P1 in the Octane 126 car. This is P2, Max Blancardi, the battle for first position. Then it's Giacomo Strata, P3. Then it's Alex Martin. Then it is Sergei Chuganov and Daniel Mancinelli, the 2 contestants for the championship win. We've got just 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining in this race. So there, the green and black livery of Max Blancardi still hounding Philippe Barron. Blancardi would love to take the win. And now Mancinelli really is on the back of Chuganov. Samantha Blancardi looks on. We're trying to watch the race and watch the championship as well. Oh, Mancinelli is going for it. Mancinelli and Chuganov are absolutely side by side. No! Chuganov is out. This, I wondered whether it was going to change the shape of this, because Chuganov now in the gravel, I don't think he's going to recover from that. There was Mancinelli, took a dive up the inside, locks up under braking. There was inevitable contact between the 2. And there we can see it from on board Chuganov's car. Oh my goodness me. In the meantime, Max Blancardi continues to hound Philippe Barron for the win. We are on the last lap. There is Renato D'Amato down there in P10. But P1, P2 at the moment, it's Barron, then it's Blancardi, then it's Giacomo Strata, then it's Alex Martin. Then it is, I think it's Pazin Lathoris. Now the question will be, the stewards doubtless will look at the Mancinelli-Chuganov incident. Here comes Philippe Barron to take the win. For Octane 126, Max Blancardi takes P2. Giacomo Strata takes the checkered flag for P3. A brilliant P4 for Alex Martin. Pazin Lathoris, P5. Mancinelli, P6. Then it's Stefano Guy, Dario Carzo. Got a bit of a spurt on mid-order in the race to take P8. Ezequiel Perez Compact, P9. Ringo Chong, P10. I don't think Chuganov will have recovered from being stuck in the gravel. What a dramatic conclusion. So Chong wins the Copa Shell Asia Pacific Series. And just look at how the lap times came down, because the last, on lap 14, it was Philippe Baron that set a 1:57.010. Here another one of these. Look at that, Chukhanov and Mancinelli, and of course that's when Pazin Lathoris was able to get through. Max Blancardi waves. There is Stefano Guy. No, that's Philippe Baron, beg your pardon. Waving to the crowd. Taking a fine win there for Octane 126. I was speaking to the Octane 126 team principal, Christian. So there, Max Blancardi flashes his lights. Fine, fine race from Max Blancardi. Dario Carzo, all the drivers waving to big crowd here to enjoy the Ferrari Finale Mondiale weekend. There is so much going on here at Mugello. So if it stands, Mancinelli would win the title by 5 points, if it stands. Information, as soon as we have it, you will have it. But at the moment, there's no doubting the fact that this man takes the race win, Philippe Baron. For Octane 126, what a fine drive from Philippe Baron. And you certainly wouldn't bet against him taking the Finale Mondiale World Final race tomorrow, as we see Raphael Giannoni out with significant damage to the left-hand side of his 458. There is Christian, the boss team principal from Octane 126. And Max Blancardi then, always a popular character in the Ferrari paddock. Samantha the first in there to give him a hug. So great drive from Blancardi. Okay, the podium going to be Asia Pacific first, but let's take a look at the highlights of that incredible race. Well, we thought the highlights were coming, as we see Giacomo Strato with a fine podium finish from Giacomo. Right, here are the highlights. So as the flags flew in the wind, then the 458s are about to fly in this, effectively the final race in the TropheoPirelli Championship. World Finals race still to come, of course. And it was all about Mancinelli and Chukhanov, and Chukhanov got the early advantage without question from his superior start. Well, just like yesterday, early retirement for the Paul van Leeuwenhoek car. As Team Ukraine looked on, Philippe Baron battled hard with Stefano Guy and eventually wrestled away the lead. Sergei Chukhanov being cautious behind, didn't want to be caught up in the race-leading battles. However, was able at one point to get into the lead, but that was soon wrestled back by Philippe Baron. A little bit of nerfing from Sam Smith didn't help Daniel Mancinelli's charge to try and get ever closer to Sergei Chukhanov. Alex Martin was having a great race. Sam Smith, the other UK driver, less so with this impact, which brought out the safety car. Thankfully, Sam Smith walked away absolutely fine, unable to take his drive-through penalty. The safety car meant they were all pushed up very, very close. Now Chukhanov needed not to get involved in any battles. He just needed to keep Mancinelli behind him. But there was contact between Mancinelli and Chukhanov. Chukhanov ended up in the gravel. Taking the win though, Philippe Baron. Blancardi took P2. So going to be heading up to the podium very shortly. Going to be taking the Asia Pacific podium first. Both TropheoPirelli and Coppicelli in Asia Pacific. Up there for us will be Alberto Bugini, who will bring us drivers' thoughts in both Italian and English as well. It's brightening up a bit now from the early showers this morning. Well, what a race. And I must say that I wondered whether that safety car would change the shape, not only of the race, but of the championship. I think it did. So Philippe Baron, the Octane 126 pilot, takes the race win. And he'll be chuffed to bits about that. Max Blancardi, a little bit of damage on the front of the car there. Max has been racing in the International Cup across Asia Pacific, and there's Alex Martin taking a very, very good P4 in the LE Dextra car. Here's some more of our hyper motion shots that we're able to bring you of our race winner there, Philippe Baron. All part of the Finale Mondiale package this weekend, where we're seeing the conclusion of the season-long championships today, and the world final races to come tomorrow. Daniel Mancinelli lit up the brake discs, that's for sure. These brilliant hypermotion shots. So too Sergei Chukhanov lighting up those brake discs. Alex Martin taking a bit of curb and some. And there, the all-red machine of Ezequiel Perez Companc, who, following his debut in Portimao earlier this year, his first racing experience, to take a P9 in this race is a very, very sound drive indeed. So there, the car of Blancardi. Baron set the fastest lap, a 1:57.010. It came late in the day as the track continued to dry. Most drivers choosing to go out on slick tyres. A 1:57.010 from Baron. So the first podium will be TropheoPirelli for Asia Pacific. Ringo Chung then heads up to the podium. Pazin Lathoris. And Max Blancardi joining the podium as well because of the International Cup, and of course P2 across the line. National anthem time. So Pazin Lathoris, Ringo Chung and Steve Wyatt. And information we're able to bring you as this podium is underway is that car number 23, or driver of car number 23, which is Daniel Mancinelli, has been asked to see the stewards straight away. Marc Genet, the official Ferrari star, making the trophy presentations here. This is Asia Pacific and International Cup. Max Blancardi, he loves his podium ceremonies, does Max. So Pazin Lathoris, Ringo Chung, and Steve Wyatt. And there's Max's young daughter to enjoy the podium as well. And, well, Pazin Lathoris, what a great race from him. Up to a P5 in the race. So photographs being taken with Marc Genet in there as well. Had the privilege of commentating with Marc Genet earlier this season. Now, Alex Martin will take third in the TropheoPirelli Europe class. So we will be seeing him on the podium, and also with me in comms later for the Copa Shell Race 2. So Pazin Lathoris, Max Blancardi, then the going to be the winners in the international class and also in the Asia Pacific, as we're looking at Philip Barron's car here. Race winning car of Philip Barron. And as I mentioned to you, interesting before the Europe podium gets underway that Daniel Mancinelli has been asked to appear before the stewards immediately. I think that's the Raffaele Giannone car that's being tractored off there. Still pretty dark, but there's glimpses of sunshine, as you can see there through the rather picturesque image that we were able to bring you. Reminder to you, we do still have the Copa Shell race to come a little bit later today. There, the cars all lined up down there in the pit lane. Lots of activities going on across this weekend, all part of the Finale Mondiale glittering festival that this weekend is. And interestingly, yesterday, whilst the calendar was being announced, we also saw the evolution of the 458, which will form the Ferrari Challenge next year with an additional wing brought in by Marc Genet. Here's Alberto Porcini right now, though.
Eccoci, un saluto a Sandro e agli amici italiani che ci seguono su Sky. Hi Dave and the world for wide Ferrari friends. Siamo con il vincitore che ha fatto una doppietta, double win for Mr. Pazin Lathoris. Yesterday, today, back to the podium for the Asia Pacific.
Well, it's tough. Yeah, it's always a dream, and just to be at the top of the podium and to be at such a big event, it's a really good feeling. You know, it was we had a race at the beginning. We did not know the track was a bit damp. We used wet or slick, but and then the risk it paid off for us. So it was a good choice.
Thank you and congratulations, Pazin. Thank you so much. E andiamo con Max Blancardi, che arriva come vincitore per quanto riguarda la serie internazionale. Eccolo qui. We obviously go ahead in Italian immediately with Max, winner of the international series.
Today I think I have a lot of fun, and also the people who saw the race had a lot of fun, a lot of overtaking, and it was a very amazing race for me, so I enjoy a lot. Today was a good race.
Spieghiamo anche in italiano, visto che siamo aperti verso gli amici di Sky Italia, com'erano le condizioni difficili della pista oggi al Mugello?
Oggi erano difficilissime e ho rischiato moltissimo anche perché partivo in 18ª posizione, insomma ho rischiato la vittoria combattendo sempre con il mio solito
So, having heard this in English first, the Italian version now from Max Blancardi.
Che non pensi di andare via così facilmente per la finale mondiale.
A chi la dedichi?
Allo scudetto della Ferrari, a mia figlia e a mia moglie.
A voi, back to you guys.
Thank you, Alberto, very much. I did wonder whether Samantha would be up there on the podium. She would have something to say. But great racing from Max Blancardi. Brilliant to be able to talk about him once again. He used to form such a big part of the European TropheoPirelli series, but been off in the International Cup. And there is his car. And there, the little bit of damage that I mentioned at the front of the car. And now that is the closing of the podium. Eric Chung up there. Bit of a fight going on with the champagne there. So, Chipto Biantoro, Hannah and Chung up there on the podium. There is the car of Chipto Biantoro. The car, once again, of David Chipto Biantoro. So just the information that we are being given is that because of the contact between Mancinelli and Chukhanov, well, we have the result of that conversation, which we'll bring you after this interview with Alberto Porcini.
Eccoci di nuovo dal podio adesso con il vincitore della Coppa Shell. Here we are again, podium with a winner regarding the Coppa Shell. Congratulations to Mr. Chipto Biantoro. Am I right?
Yes, correct. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
How was your race today?
It was very tough. Conditions were very up and down and unstable. It was an easy race. Yes.
Which was the most difficult point of the track?
Actually, the beginning of the race was very unstable. It was still wet track conditions, but as the race went on, the temperature built up and the grip was more on the track. So at the end of the race, it was getting better. Yeah.
Thank you, congratulations once again. A voi e tra poco parleremo di campionato a livello Europa. Back to you guys to talk just immediately afterwards about the championship of the European Series. Bye.
Thank you, Alberto Porcini. Yes. So what I can tell you then is, because of the contact between Daniel Mancinelli and Sergei Chukhanov, the stewards have decided that they would award Mancinelli a drive-through penalty. Clearly, that can't happen because it was right at the end of the race. Therefore, he has had a time penalty, which would effectively put him back down into 8th place. The difference in the points, even though Mancinelli finished the race and Chukhanov didn't, Chukhanov had just enough of a cushion to make Sergei Chukhanov the champion. That, of course, pending appeals. But that's the information we have from our executive production team and race control, and we thank you for keeping us up to speed on what is happening there. So at the moment, Chukhanov is going to take the championship. But here is the podium for the TropheoPirelli. Philippe Baron, Giacomo Strata and Alex Martin. So the national anthem plays out for Philippe Baron, takes P1, Giacomo Strata P2, and the UK's Alex Martin P3. Also up there on the podium from the Octane 126 team, Christian there, and Marc Genet presents the trophy to Alex Martin, then to Giacomo Strata. And of course, Philip Barron will be the recipient of 2 trophies, taking the race win and also taking the Young Driver award also. So great showing from Philip Barron, the Austrian driver. Took a year away from Ferrari Challenge last season, but back this season on a mission with that new Octane 126 team. There's Alex Martin's wife, Alicia, looking on with pride. So there, the podium and the Pirelli representative there. And Sergei Chukhanov appears on the podium as the TropheoPirelli champion for 2013, pending appeals. Following that decision from the race stewards to award Daniel Mancinelli a time penalty, and Chukhanov gets lifted into the air to the delight of the many Ukraine fans here. Sergei Chukhanov gets lifted by Philip Barron and Giacomo Strata and gets covered in champagne. Well, it's not the way Chukhanov would have wanted to win the championship. He would have far rather crossed the line, I know, but that is the decision from the race stewards as we have it at the moment. So, of course, we will keep you abreast of that, and I urge you to keep up to date on all the information on corsaclienti.ferrari.com. That is the website for you to check out everything about the Ferrari Challenge. So Barron then takes the win in the race, but Chukhanov does eventually get awarded the championship. Of course, he ended up in the gravel following contact between himself and Mancinelli. Mancinelli ended up then with a time penalty, which would have been a drive-through had there been time in the race, but there wasn't. So that puts Mancinelli back, and even though Mancinelli finishes the race and Chukhanov didn't, Chukhanov still had just enough points in the bag to take the championship. So we've seen him crowned on the podium, and Alberto Borghini is standing by for us. So as I mentioned though, then Alberto Borghini standing by for us, a packed bunch of people, I'm sure.
Eccoci di nuovo dal podio, here we are again, podium. Adesso partiamo innanzitutto in italiano e partiamo con il vincitore della gara, un grande Philippe al comando imperterrito.
Sì, sembra che siamo pronti per il finale domani. Vorrei prendere il mio terzo titolo mondiale.
So we will be hearing this in English in just a moment or two.
Sì, tutto è andato bene, la macchina adesso è a posto, ieri era ancora un po' difficile da guidare. Il team Octane 126 da Zurigo ha fatto un grande lavoro, abbiamo fatto un buon setup per la pista bagnata con le gomme di slick e credo che siamo stati in un modo unico davanti, no?
Now in English explaining that today a wonderful victory and you look forward tomorrow, World Final.
Yes, it was a wonderful race today. I guess it was good preparation for the World Finals tomorrow. I hope we take our third World Champion title on midday tomorrow time, and like we did in 2008 in Mugello, and I think we won this race today in a unique measure, I think.
Danke, grazie, thank you very much. Salutiamo e congratuliamo ancora Philippe e adesso parliamo di campionato. We're gonna talk about the championship and the champion, Sergei Chukhanov.
Yes.
Well done, thrilling end of the season, and now you got it.
Yeah, we wait with the championship till the last race. It was very hard, you know, but I'm happy that we succeeded.
Today was really slippery, the track, I guess.
Yes, it was very hard, so in the beginning I let pass the Baron and Blacardi because I could be faster, but in this track condition, if you want to be faster, you need to take a lot of risk. So, but I wasn't able to take risk in this time. Yeah, everything changed after the safety car, but still we did it.
Describe us, please, your wonderful season. A summary.
Summary, it was very great. A lot of thanks to the team because it was very pleasure for me to work with such a team because every race we improved something, we changed something, we did a lot. So I didn't drive for 3 years before the season, so we did a great job from the first luckily podium, what to say, on slicks in Monza from winner of the Le Mans and the championship. So I'm happy.
Do you want to dedicate the title to someone specially?
Just to everyone, to my friends, family who supports me. Just thank you guys. I love you.
Questo quindi è il campione. This is the champion. Congratulations, congratulazioni a voi. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Alberto Porcini, and well done to Sergei Chukhanov, taking eventually the championship. And this was on board there, but Sergei Chukhanov takes the championship, and a very wise head on young shoulders there. Knew, as he said, his strategy going into the race was not to push too hard, not to take unnecessary risks, because, you know, he wanted to take that championship win and not compromise the task of taking that title by getting into battles. Well, inevitably the safety car did change the race, as I felt it might. Change the shape of it, change the shape of the way the championship was won also. And but pending appeals, Daniel Mancinelli was given a well, effectively a drive-through penalty. That couldn't be taken because it was right in the closing stages of the race, so he was given a time penalty, which took him back to P8 on the grid. Therefore, Sergei Chukhanov had enough in the bag to take the championship. As we look at some of the shots then from that race. Next race is 13:55 GMT. That is the Copa Shell Race 2, where the charge for the championship will be just as exciting as it was in TropheoPirelli. Sums up the season, really. It's been non-stop excitement across Ferrari Challenge. All the information then, corsaclienti.ferrari.com. Join us for that next race later. Bye-bye.